is going on, my fellow movie nerds and geeks alike? I'm sorry for the lapse in stuff we've been putting out lately. Time has been kind of escaping us with Mother's Day, birthdays, and I went to a buddy of mine's bachelor party down to Texas not too long ago, so I kind of haven't really had the time to put anything together. And also, a lot of the stuff I've been seeing on YouTube has been very repetitive. That's just my opinion. It's just a lot of people are reviewing the same things, buying the same things, and I've just been kind of like, meh, having like a bit of a just lapse in wanting to watch or make anything. But today, I have so many new things in this haul video to show you guys. I also want to share my experience of going to Pallbearer Press's House of Stuff while I was at my buddy's bachelor party. Without further ado, I know it's just another haul video, but the fun in these is like I buy such random stuff, it's not going to be stuff you see in everybody else's video, so I hope you enjoy. So I've been going to our local record store that also sells movies, DVDs, Blu-rays, and whatnot, and they've been having the craziest deals, like $1 to $3 on like DVDs, Blu-rays, so I've been picking up a lot of movies that I didn't have, and of course doing what we all do these days is trying to upgrade all my old DVDs to Blu-ray. So I'll be sure to fire through these as quick as possible. I got Caddyshack 2 in a snapper case old DVD. This never got a Blu-ray and I never owned it. And as amazing as the original is, I do kind of have a soft spot for Caddyshack 2. I got this 4-pack of the Substitute movies. Another one that I just have a soft spot for. These are some cheesy ass action movies. I've never owned any of them, so to be able to go back and watch all 4 of these insane movies will be a lot of fun. Major League 2 in the old snapper case. Another movie that has never gotten a Blu-ray release or anything. And again, another sequel where I think it's fun, at least. The first one's a classic, just like in Caddyshack's sake. It's just good, honest fun. Giallo in Venice, or in America they call it Gore in Venice. I've just been still trying to watch as many Giallo movies as possible, which also brings up the fact that Vicky and I will shortly be doing another ranking of our Giallo movies. That one is intense. And I finally picked up the Dream a Little Dream Vestron series edition. I had this on DVD forever. And I'm not trying to collect all the Vestrons, but because I only had this on DVD, I did want to give it an upgrade. This movie's okay, a little fun with the 2 Corys. Fire in the Sky from Scream Factory. This is one of the most intense alien abduction movies I've ever seen, at least in the last like 20 minutes or so. A great cast, just a movie that kind of slipped by me when I was younger, but I never owned this, and boy oh boy is this one intense. Hobo with a Shotgun. I had this on DVD forever and never upgraded it for whatever reason. One of the newer, crazy action, exploitation-esque movies that I've really enjoyed, and I just really wanted to have it on HD, so yeah. Street Trash, one of my favorite movies of all time. I've been waiting for this to get the 4K nod, which it supposedly is supposed to have, but I couldn't wait anymore, so I just picked this up on a flash sale that I saw on Amazon, and yeah, Street Trash. I have it on VHS, DVD, and now Blu-ray, and probably soon I'll have it on 4K too. The Sadness, one of the most disturbing zombie rage virus kind of movies I've seen in the last 5 years. It is so disturbing, especially in the dialogue that some of the characters say, that it really messed with me, and I really love the movie, so I just had to pick it up. When Evil Lurks, another one just like The Sadness that profoundly kind of disturbed me, and a lot of new movies don't do that, but this one did. Check it out on Shudder if you haven't. Same with The Sadness. Above the Law, Under Siege, and Under Siege 2. I love the Seagal early 90s and late 80s action movies, and I've only ever had them on like crappy old multi-pack DVDs, and to have them on HD is a lot of fun. I think we watched all 3 of these in one day, which was a lot. The Expendables multi-pack. This has all 4 films. I only had, I think, the first one on DVD, but I always liked the first 3 of them. So I decided, oh, why not? I could at least finally check out Expendables 4, which was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. But to own all of them, even on just Blu-ray, not 4K or anything, I enjoy these movies enough, and I get great joy out of like the just mindless action movies, so I was happy to add this one for dumb cheap from Walmart. And more of this crazy stack. I put a lot of stuff in my Amazon cart just to watch the price fluctuate, and whenever I see movies kind of drop to below $5 is when I'll pull the trigger and finally upgrade a lot of my old DVDs to these Blu-rays. Better Off Dead on Steelbook. This one I cannot recommend. Oddly enough, the DVD looks better than this. For some reason, all the characters in this and like people had this really weird red tone, and like the DVD looked better, but I love Better Off Dead. I'll probably still hang on to the DVD, oddly enough. Jeepers Creepers 3. One of the worst sequels of all time, but I'm a completionist. I had to add it to have all the Jeepers Creepers movies. 1 and 2 are the only good ones. This one is one of the worst movies I ever saw. Feels like a sci-fi movie. It is bad. I don't recommend buying this unless you're a sick maniac like me. Boondock Saints and Boondock Saints 2, All Saints Day. These were ones I got at the used record store for I think like $1.50 each. I had them both on DVD, and I liked them well enough to finally upgrade them to Blu-ray. Hard to Kill, another Steven Seagal movie that I upgraded from DVD. Vicky and I have this like ongoing joke about this movie where he comes out of the coma after 7 years and is just fighting because my wife had like a horrible accident happen like 4 or 5 years ago, and she came out and was just like doing the Steven Seagal punch Hard to Kill thing, which we continue to say to this day, so had to upgrade this one because it has sentimental attachment to me and Vicky. And I got a lot of comedies recently. For some reason, all comedies were really cheap over the past month or so, and I finally upgraded all my old DVDs. Forgetting Sarah Marshall. God, the amount me and Vicky quote this one is insane. One of the funniest movies of the last 20 years, in my honest opinion, so had to have it. Friday with Ice Cube and Chris Tucker. I've always had a soft spot for this movie, and Debo's character is just hilarious. I don't know what else to say. As far as like the hood comedy movies, I always really liked this one and Don't Be a Menace, so I had to upgrade this one. The Holdovers. This one I didn't get on any sale or anything like that. It was just one of the movies from last year that was in Oscar contention that I really enjoyed and I really wanted to own it. God, Paul Giamatti is just so hilarious in this movie, and I highly recommend checking out The Holdovers. From Hell on Blu-ray, another upgrade I got at the used record store. I don't really care too much about this movie, but I had an old DVD, and Jack the Ripper stories are always like kind of interesting to me. So yeah, the Mortal Kombat triple pack. I have a soft spot, especially for the first one. God, with that Techno Syndrome song, and then you got Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and that web series, Mortal Kombat Legacy, they did a few years back. I had these on old Snapper case DVDs, so I just wanted to have them on Blu-ray. Office Space, one of my favorite comedies from growing up. Where's your pieces of flair? Yeah, just Office Space, man. You seen my stapler? Timeless comedy from my childhood. Old School, another great comedy from when I was growing up. Boy, did this really make me excited to go to college, and college is nothing really like this. And I always had a real soft spot for Vince Vaughn, so I picked this one up. Demolition Man, one of the greatest action movies of all time. Another one I just upgraded from an old Snapper case DVD. This will probably end up getting a 4K now that I bought this on Blu-ray finally, but Smokin' Aces. I know this one has a 4K, which I don't need this movie on 4K. I just always really enjoyed it, and to have it at least on high def is always a plus to me. Sin City. I had a crazy special edition DVD of this movie, and I just never upgraded it because I thought the DVD casing and stuff was really cool, but the movie itself really lends itself to looking really good in HD, so I had to pick up Sin City when I saw it at the used record store. Role Models. Another just hilarious Paul Rudd comedy that I never really owned, so I saw it for like $3.50 one day and just decided to finally pick it up. Shark Night. This is just like a cheesy shark movie that takes place in a lake. I remember when this came out, I went to go see it in the theaters, and the 3D effects were just insanely cheesy and fun. Probably like one of the last like shark movies that people tried to make you take serious that I actually enjoyed, aside from like The Shallows. But yeah, Shark Night, saw it for I think $2 at the record store and decided to pick it up. World War Z. I know this one got a 4K from Scream Factory. I don't need this movie in 4K because it's not super good. I always just really enjoyed it, and I had an old DVD and saw this one for I think $2.50 and was like, yep, gotta have that. Wrong Turn 1 through 5. I had the first 4 of these on DVD and was like, oh wow, this was only like $20 for 5 movies on Blu-ray. I've never even seen the 5th one or the 6th one for that matter, but I wanted to upgrade it to DVD while this was still readily available. So yeah, Wrong Turn 1 through 5. First two are awesome, but can't really vouch for the rest. Waiting. Boy, oh boy, did this movie really scare me off of ever turning back food at a restaurant or anything like that. One of the funniest comedies still to this day, in my opinion. What makes you think I won't cut you? I still gotta get the sequel, Still Waiting, which isn't as good, but God, I love this movie, and because my wife works in the service industry, we find ourselves watching this a lot, so to upgrade it onto HD for like, I think $2 was a smart move for me. Alright, and these next ones here in this stack I've got on my lap right now, I picked up from random sales that have been happening the past couple months. Full price retail of some of these on like release day is just insane, and also I'm just like, I can wait. These are gonna be cheaper, and I don't need them right away. Granted, you lose the option of getting like the slip cover and everything people always care about. I generally don't care too much about that stuff unless it's a movie I really am passionate about. These first three I picked up during the Kino Lorber sale, which is always a great sale because it's 50% off, which is amazing. And the first one I picked up was Monster Squad on 4K. I love the Monster Squad, and I've been waiting to pick this one up forever. I had an old DVD, so this one needed a hell of an upgrade, and boy, this movie is awesome. And to have like Wolfman's Got Nards documentary and everything on here, this is well worth the price, and I'm really happy I finally picked this up. And the next one I picked up from the Kino Lorber sale is Nightmare Beach, which oddly enough just got announced on 4K. This is Umberto Lenzi's like kind of take on a slasher movie that takes place in America. Me and the wife have been on a kind of a Lenzi kick unintentionally recently, but this is a lot of fun. Takes place during spring break in Miami. Just a cool slasher dressed in motorcycle garb. John Saxon, Michael Parks. This was a lot of fun, and if you're trying to get into giallo movies but are still skeptical, this is a nice like kind of segue from like slasher, giallo, and it was a lot of fun. And the last movie I picked up from the Kino Lorber sale is To Live and Die in LA. Another one that has a 4K, but I had never seen the movie before, oddly enough. And a lot of our friends talk really highly of this movie. I'm looking at you, Uzi. And I had never seen it. I loved this movie so much, and so did Vicky. She, oddly enough, she doesn't really care too much about like these crime thriller movies as much as I do. But this is awesome, and I highly recommend checking this out. It's just like a really stylized thriller taking place obviously in Los Angeles, and has one of the most shocking endings I've ever seen, and it was just a lot of fun with a great soundtrack. And these next ones in this stack I got from an MVD sale. They are running sales on like random labels this past few months, and recently they did one on Blue Underground, which has a lot of titles that I've had on DVD forever, so I've been looking to upgrade them for, God, since I was probably 16 years old. So I finally upgraded Dario Argento's Inferno, which is the technically unofficial sequel to Suspiria. I really like this movie. It's arguably more stylized than Suspiria, although not as good. But yeah, Inferno, I've had it on DVD forever and just finally upgraded it to Blu-ray. So what does that mean? It generally means that they're going to announce a 4K soon. And Lucio Fulci's Manhattan Baby. This is a movie I've never seen, and I finally got it during the sale and checked it out. It's a lot of fun. It's like a goofy kind of like possession movie involving a family living in New York who come across an idol in Egypt that like possesses the family. A lot of cool visuals in this. Not Fulci's best, but a lot of fun to check out. Finally happy to cross it off my Fulci list. The Stendhal Syndrome from Dario Argento. This was another one I had never seen. I know a lot of people don't really care for Argento's 90s movies because they're kind of a little bizarre, and once he like came to America and started making movies, the movies kind of lost that special touch. This one does not have all those like crazy colors and cool soundtracks that a lot of his earlier work did, and this one stars his daughter, Asia Argento. This one is really kind of an off-putting movie. Not terrible, but certainly not his best. Stendhal Syndrome. And Stage Fright, Michel Suavi, or however you pronounce it. This is a cool giallo / slasher movie involving a guy wearing like an owl head and stalking all the members of a play. This is a lot of fun and has a lot of great giallo and slasher elements to it, and probably my favorite of Suavi's work, just because it's just a straight up slasher movie when it comes down to it, and I really enjoy it. Stage Fright, aka Aquarius. And now this one I picked up from Orbit DVD. I always keep an eye on their used and damaged discount section because paying full price for a lot of these box sets tends to be insane and wildly overpriced. And when I saw this one finally went under $50, I was like, oh, cool. Vicky and I can finally watch the rest of Umberto Lenzi's Giallo movies. And we're almost finished watching through all of them. It is the complete Lenzi Baker Giallo collection. This one has Orgasmo, So Sweet, So Perverse, A Quiet Place to Kill, and Knife of Ice in it. It also has a couple of the movie's soundtracks. These movies are insanely bizarre, not your typical Giallos. Kind of more of like psychological thriller, nightmare-inducing type movies. But so far they've been a lot of fun, and I was happy to see this go down in price, so I finally picked it up. And this next one was kind of a shock to me to see go on sale. Arrow Video has been doing these like spotlight sales during the weekends where they'll randomly select something and put it way marked down as far as like almost 60% off. And I thought I was gonna miss out on this Enter the Video Store Empire of Screams kind of set, and I saw the limited edition went on sale and it was only like $40, which is insane because this is the limited one that has like the opening from the top and it has the booklet and stuff in it. These movies are kind of corny and cheesy, kind of like the early Full Moon style movies, but I couldn't pass it up seeing it at the price, and I knew it was gonna sell out, so I might as well pick it up while I had the chance. This one has The Dungeon Master in it, Dolls, of course, Cellar Dweller, Arena, and Robot Jocks. I think the only two we haven't watched yet are Arena and Robot Jocks, which I have never seen, but I love Cellar Dweller and Dolls. Dungeon Master was a lot of goofy fun that me and Vicky got a kick out of watching. It is just like absurd and corny, just kind of B-movie greatness. So yeah, I was happy to finally pick this up, and to get the limited edition one at such a cheap price was like something I couldn't say no to. And next up, when I was in Austin, Texas for my buddy's bachelor party, a couple of my friends and I went to go visit a couple record stores and things of that nature. I also later dragged them to Pallbearer Press, which I'll get to. But we went to this place called Waterloo Records, and I'll throw in a video here just showing like one of the places they had all the movies. And what was cool about this place was not only did they have just like normal studio titles, which they obviously did, but they also they had a huge array of just like boutique labels from around the world that I'm not used to seeing outside of like the convention circuit, because we don't really have many places that sell them. They had like 88 Films, Viavision, Scream Factory stuff, Arrow stuff, Criterion stuff, just like an endless amount of them. So I used that opportunity to pick up like a couple upgrades to old DVDs and movies I've just been waiting to buy. So I bought Cannibal Holocaust on 4K. I've had this on DVD forever, and it's just one of those movies that a lot of people find off-putting, but it's one of the first like exploitation no-no movies that I ever saw as a kid, and I always liked it. It doesn't really bother me as much as it probably bothers some other people. I think if anything, it's like the sexual abuse stuff that kind of is a little more than like the actual animal deaths that get to me. But yeah, I love this movie. I'm wearing a t-shirt of it. I had to have it in 4K from 88 Films, and they had it there. I picked up the standard release of Drive on 4K. I missed out on like the huge box set when this was released, and this movie lends itself to 4K so well. Love the movie, and to see that on the shelf, I was like, well, I gotta pick this up. And these next two were just upgrades from DVDs that they had there, and these were both like $3. We have The Collector and The Collection. I loved these movies, kind of Saw-esque, but a little more thought-provoking in my honest opinion. And I had them on DVD forever, and to see them on Blu-ray, I was like, cool, I can upgrade those and throw them in my carry-on when I go home. Alright, and last but not least, I went to Pallbearer Press's House of Stuff. Now, I've been wanting to go to this place forever. I've been shopping and buying t-shirts from Pallbearer Press at random conventions for close to 15 years now, and to hear that they had like a flagship store, I was so excited that like, oh man, I'm going to Austin, I could finally go check out Pallbearer Press. And boy, oh boy, did that place not disappoint. Oddly enough, I was skateboarding right before with a group of my friends before we were on our way to Pallbearer Press, and I slammed and hit the side of my face, which is another reason why I haven't been making videos, is I've had a black eye for like almost 3 weeks. When I walked into House of Stuff, I had like blood trickling down the side of my face, and thankfully they're cool enough and they weren't like, oh my god, are you okay? But that just goes to show how bad I wanted to go and check this out, is that like my face was just swollen and bleeding, and I still wanted to go and see this place with my own 2 eyes. And when you walk in, you're greeted by a horror movie score playing over the speakers. In my case, they were playing the Lucio Fulci's Zombie soundtrack, which was insane. It is a horror movie lover's dream in there. T-shirts, records, toys, movies, action figures, you name it. They have everything there. And I picked up Severin Films' 4K release of The Psychic while I was there because I had not picked this up yet, and they had like a cool selection of Vinegar Syndrome, Arrow, and Severin Films stuff there, which again is another one of those things I don't really see outside of online or the convention circuit. And I also picked up this cool pair of shorts from Pieces. The only thing my wife requested when she found out I was going to Pallbearer Press was to get her a New York Ripper shirt. So I got her this cool long sleeve with the New York Ripper artwork on it and like an eyeball with a razor blade going into it, going down the sleeves. But God, I loved this place, and I highly recommend going to check it out. If not for, even my friends aren't huge horror movie fans, just to look at how cool all this stuff is. They print all their own stuff, they make their own toys, and they have all like, you know, Severin Films and cool Blu-rays and 4Ks there, but like, they have everything you could want there as a horror movie lover. It's just so much fun and a great place to visit. Really friendly staff. Can't recommend it enough. Go check it out if you're ever in Austin, Texas. I am sorry about like the video quality and stuff like that of the footage I shot inside Pallbearer Press. I didn't go there with the intention of like being like, oh my god, I'm gonna film this for my YouTube channel. I just like kind of wanted to film it so I could remember it and just like share it with some of my friends. Like, look at this place, man. It's so up my alley, so up our alley. So it's all vertical filming, so my apologies for that. But I figured I'd share it here. It's a good time to kind of like pump them up because what a cool place. And yeah, definitely go check them out. Alright guys, thank you for checking out this video and my insanely huge haul of stuff over the past couple months. I hope you enjoyed it, and Vicky and I will be back soon to do our Giallo catch-up and add things to our little ranking soon enough. And until then, I hope you guys are having a great start to summer, great Memorial Day weekend. I think this will be out around that time, and until the next video, you guys, I love you. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that silly nonsense we always say. I love y'all. Adios.